Crypto Asset Reporting Framework. Now, CARF is on everyone's lips as of 2026. This is a new global initiative to try and get everyone being a bit more honest, shall we say, with their actual reporting needs when it comes to crypto and the blockchain. So what is CARF? Well, the G20 commissioned the OECD to develop this international framework where everyone can be in the same position across the board and across the pond. The aim here is to standardize that framework so everyone can adhere to a same level of reporting needs. Now, this does aim at closing the tax gap itself, but it's more around actual data reporting and what could be available for maybe even retail investors like us. Sure, this could tackle tax avoidance, but isn't necessarily the whole reason for this. Now, the onus is actually on the RCASPs, the Reportable Crypto Asset Service Providers. These are your centralized exchanges predominantly, or brokers, or anyone that acts like that where they're dealing with the purchase and the sale of crypto itself. They have an obligation to not only save and store your data, but save and store additional data that you might not be used to giving up. For example, your national insurance number and/or your unique taxpayer reference number for those that live in the UK. This data is saved centrally, which in itself is pretty dangerous in my personal opinion, before being sent to HMRC in certain instances. It's not always, it's not guaranteed, it's only in certain situations if there's a legal requirement, for example. Now, with all this, it's very important to remember that the laws haven't changed. You still have the same obligation to report any tax that is due to the revenue. For example, you still have an obligation to include your disposals and your acquisition costs on your tax return if you breach a certain threshold. You still have the same obligation to make sure you make payment by the due dates. None of this has changed. All it's done is reframed it and focused the lens on all of us to get up to date. So as a side note, I would say it's important to note that this might be a warning shot, maybe the final warning shot before governmental bodies come after those that are actively tax avoiding. So if you are not sure if you need to report anything or not, your best bet is to figure it out. Now, you could do this yourself, you could do this with software, or you could do it with someone like me, an accountant that specializes in crypto and tax. So I'm going to be completely honest and frank with you, and if you follow me on any of my socials, I speak about this quite a lot. My biggest concern with CARF is the security element of it all. I've personally been in a webinar with representatives of HMRC who are specifically talking about CARF, and I asked the question about security, what their plans are, if they have any details online that I could look up to see if they have anything in place at all to look after not just your data, but mine. The response I got wasn't great, if I'm perfectly honest. I don't want to give too much detail right here, but effectively, it was very, we have processes in place, we have procedures, we have the right parties involved. Now, if you really think about it, that's not specific enough at all. My worry is that we are in a position where we're giving up all this data to an entity that, if you Google it, you'll find out very quickly that there has been data leaks internally, software malfunctions. I think they sent a CD through the post and lost so much data that affected thousands of people, you know? So with this situation where they have all of this data, my worry is that there's some form of leak, and this leak will give perpetrators your name, your UTR number, your address, and maybe even your tax records. This means that criminals would be in a position to not only locate you, but know how much you are worth. Yes, HMRC already have that data for certain people, but most of those liquid funds would be with a bank, an investment broker perhaps, or some form of third party where they have serious security and probably insurance involved as well. With the crypto space, if you have it on a ledger, Tangent, Trezor, I strongly believe that the probability of a wrench attack increases multiple times. This means that if someone were to hack their systems, or there's a data leak, or someone from the inside sells that data, they're going to have enough information not only to find you, but know how much you've made and probably where your crypto funds are. Now, I don't know about you, but personally, I'm not comfortable with that. I've spoken about this online for quite a bit, and I don't see myself really taking the foot off the gas here. It's something I'm quite passionate about. So my worry is that the only time that there will be a change here is if something horrible happens and they will have to make an immediate change in the interest of public safety. So what can they do to help this? Honestly, I don't really know. I'm not a security expert, but my basic comments would be along the lines of ensuring that we've got a very transparent security protocol, perhaps involve trusted third party that specialize in security, even on the blockchain. Maybe develop something in-house with blockchain experts to secure all this. And of course, something simple like ensuring encryption. The bottom line is that I don't feel HMRC quite have the capability and technology to truly look after our data to such a degree that it would prevent malicious attack and perhaps even wrench attacks coming from all that. I would highly encourage people to discuss this just as a general rule of thumb, and I will be asking the question as much as I can until I get the answers that I need and I want. And I will share this with you guys, of course, as soon as I get that. My worry is that by the time I get any of these answers, it might genuinely be too late. So if you have any ideas as to how this could work, comment below and let me know. I'm open to all sorts of ideas and discussions. Maybe between us, we can actually help the situation. Truthfully, I just don't think CARF's a great move whatsoever from a security perspective.